AndrewHogue.com allows you to get your fix 24/7 via our free iPhone and Android apps. Simply download from the respective stores and rock out. This is Andrew Hogue for AndrewHogue.com, of course, Australia's premier 24/7 rock metal radio station, here with my longtime buddy and a huge inspiration is my Brazilian buddy, Mr. Max Cavalera. Welcome to AndrewHogue.com, and of course back to Australia. I've lost count how many times you've been here, but it's always a pleasure to catch up.
Back down under. Yeah, it's great, man. Good to see you again, man, you know. So always nice to be here, and we're having a blast, man. The shows are going great. It was really packed last night in Sydney, and Brisbane was awesome, the first show. It's a crazy tour. There's not a day off, man. It's like show after show, you know, like waking up early, flight, get in a place, catch a little sleep during the day, and then, you know, go rock out at night. But it's great, you know. I love being here, and I'm excited to all the stuff that's coming up. We got Melbourne in America in October, playing Point Blank entirely. I have the new Cavalera album coming out, Psychosis. We have a little bit more of the Roots tour in December with Overkill in Europe. And I start working on a new Soulfly in January. So keep them pretty busy, man, you know.
Keep shitting riffs. Now let's talk a bit about the new Cavalera Conspiracy. Obviously, I haven't heard anything of it yet. It's called Psychosis. It's out in November, and of course,
haven't leaked to you yet?
It hasn't leaked, not yet.
Somebody must be doing the right thing. I don't know. It's good. It's a good record, man. It's cool. Yeah.
Was the process different this time around? Because I know Igor's got a different approach to recording music today and playing music, and he's in a bit of a different, I guess, field of musical interests as well. So how does he sort of reconnect with you when it comes to playing heavy sort of beats? Because obviously he does stuff with Mix Hell and Soul Wax, and Disco Bill is out there doing his thing on the decks. So how do you sort of say, brother, it's time to get metal again and get on the kit and start thrashing?
Well, it's in his heart. It's in his blood, you know. And I think that the stuff he does, I think that's on the side. Igor's always been adventures, you know. When we were back in the, the early days, the schizophrenia days, he will always, you know, be jamming, you know, Beastie Boys and Run DMC and stuff like that, you know, that I didn't quite understood and wasn't really much my cup of tea, but he was always kind of more into different stuff like that. So it didn't come as a total surprise that he was doing that. But I know how to, get the metal out of him, you know. And it's not too hard, man. He loves it. He loves playing, you know. And we actually found a really cool producer this time. This guy Arthur Risk. He did Inquisition, Power Trip, and he was killer. It was great, you know. It was like the perfect guy for the album. He really kind of like had a great knowledge of the underground, knew a lot about the newer heavy stuff that's coming out, but also knew about old stuff and knew my and Igor's catalog entirely. And so the record is a bit like it's kind of like rooted in the stuff that we did in those days, like Schizophrenia, Beneath the Remains, Our Eyes, but with the twist of right now, with the noise of right now, the stuff like Full of Hell and Nails and Bozer stuff we listen to. We have a song with Justin from Godflash called Hellfire. Godflash, one of my favorite bands, you know, so it was great having Justin singing on it. We have an instrumental that's a bit like prog rock, which is going to be a surprise for a lot of people. Igor went to Uganda and recorded a lot of tribal rhythms, you know, and brought a bunch of the shit back. And I was like, we have to use this shit. It's cool, man. It's like frog sounding from the jungle and tribal drums and shit. And so we made this. I had this riff that was really cool. I never used it. It was it's a bit like some of the stuff I listen to, like ISIS and Russian Circles, you know, a little bit. It's real proggy kind of, but it's really cool. So it's in the middle of the record. The rest of the record is just bestiality, brutality, you know, all the way. It starts with this fucking awesome riff, no intro, no nothing, just the guitar riff, you know, turn, 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 you know. And it's really cool, man. We did a song called Chrome, which is about the father of Conan. You know, I watched Conan and I was really inspired by the movie. It's a great movie. In the beginning, Conan's mom gets decapitated, and you know, he's sitting with Chrome in the top of the mountain. So I thought that would be kind of cool. First was the album was going to be about terrorism, you know, but ended up not being entirely about that. Every record is kind of like that. It starts about something and never end up being about exactly that. But yeah, it's cool, man. You know, there's a lot of cool parts on it. There's a one song, Impalement Execution, which is a very death metal title, has 6 trash riffs. We used to call it, the nickname of the song was Thrasher's Delight, because it was like delicacy of trash, you know, like it was a Thrasher's paradise, you know, 6 riffs together, one after the other, you know, and with some of them with guitar solos, some of them I'm singing on it, you know, and some of the vocal patterns are back to early stuff, like similar to what I did on Schizophrenia and albums like that, so that was cool too. I think that's going to surprise a lot of people. Rizzo did great, like always. Igor's drumming is awesome, especially on Judas Pariah. He sounds actually good. That one goes back to Morbid Division type of black metal. You know, it's cool. It's really, really powerful. Yeah, it's a good record. I think a lot of people are gonna like it. You know, it's we needed one like that. I think. I like the first one a lot, Inflicted. I thought that was a really good one. Blunt Force Trauma was a bit similar to Inflicted, but not as powerful. And Pandemonium was really recorded shitty on purpose. We did it. We wanted to sound underground, you know, and some people didn't get it, you know. So we needed to make something really cool and that sounds really on fire, you know. And I think this album puts us back on that track, so I think it's good.
Let's just talk. I mean, the history of yourself in the metal world is just quite monumental. I mean, talking to what you're saying before, it's like you never really look back too much. I've had chats with Igor over the years, and he said he doesn't really look back into the past at all. Of course, you revisit it musically with, obviously, the Roots tour currently and things like that. But what keeps you present to, you know, move forward? Because there's so many fans who want to freeze people in a certain time and a certain era and stuff like that, and some fans don't want to move forward, whereas you guys are the ones making the music. What keeps you present and just keep moving forward and not really reflecting too much on what you've already done? Because as I said, it's quite monumental and quite documented for many years of your amazing history. What keeps you present in the now?
Well, I think we have one foot in the past and one in the future, which I think is good. Is how kind of like what we are doing things right now with this Return to Roots tour, the Nail Bomb tour. That's like revisiting our past, which I think is important because those are really cool records are worthwhile revisiting and showing to especially like a lot of new fans that don't know about that stuff. I think it's cool to show them that's where it came from, you know. And then there's the right now stuff that we do, like the Cavalera album, the new Soulfly next year. That I talked to, like Archangel a lot. I thought it was a pretty cool record. I don't know. I love metal. I'm a metal fan. You know, I'm not like those guys that only the old times are good. You know, there's nothing new good. No, there's a lot of good stuff, man. You know, I'm extremely excited for the underground that's coming up. Stuff like Gate Creeper and Home Wrecker and Genocide Pact and Dying Fetus last record was great, you know, and I love stuff like Gojira, you know, and here in Australia you have like a lot of cool stuff like Ruins that I just checked out and it was great, you know, and Yeah, so I'm a metal fan at heart. I listen to metal all the time. Still get excited. I still get influenced by a lot of the metal, and that goes into my music.
Are you surprised when you meet other sort of, I guess, a newer generation bands who just see you as an absolute metal god, yet you're keeping your ear to the ground all the time, and you're like, hey, I really like your album, and how do you feel when you see their reaction coming from someone like yourself who has such a massive history? Because you're very humble and always had, you know, that integrity of just keeping it tried and true, and I guess, as they say, underground as well. I mean,
Yeah, I a bit like make Gloria do make contact with them. Because I'm not good with the internet. I don't have a cell phone. You know, I don't know how to email. Actually, the first time I was driving with Igor last week was the first time he had to send a text message to Mark, and he was driving, so I had to send a text. That was my first text ever. I told him to. I was like, dude, I just got my first text ever. You know, like 2017, man. You know, that's how caveman I am.
I mean, to a point, it's probably a good thing because we've become so addicted in the digital age that it has become a necessary evil in so many respects. Because to a point, it does kind of run our lives now.
I know a lot of musicians do, but I prefer to stay, not really connected on that. It'd be more like just on the music side, you know.
Legends like Lemmy and God rest his soul. What's your take on the whole hologram thing with the Ronnie James Dio? Because people are sort of talking future from now that, the whole AI, artificial intelligence, that more people are going to start watching hologram shows. They reckon they're looking at doing Frank Zappa. Hologram of Ronnie James Dio's happened at Wacken, I think, last year. I don't know if there's talks about Lemmy. I think it all depends. But like I said, technology is just driving us all crazy, except for yourself in the cave. Yeah. But what's your take on the whole hologram thing of classic, you know, metalheads that have passed away and younger fans didn't get a chance to actually see it? Do you think, and to a point, they sort of think that YouTube videos aren't enough, they want to experience it to a point. Well, what do you think? I mean, 20 years, for 40 years, I don't know how you'd feel about a Max Cavalera hologram.
I think it's a cool as nostalgic thing. It will never be as good as the real thing, you know, because you just cannot duplicate real life, you know. And like I say, shows are exciting because they're unpredictable, and every night can be different. You know, no matter how robotic it is, every night is different, and some things happen. You know, we were playing in some place on the last tour, and there was the kid in front of the stage, and I was like, what are you doing here? You weren't even born when Roots came out. I started fucking with him, you know, and he's all like, but I can play. Arise. I was like, no, you cannot. Like, so we brought him on the stage, and I thought it was on guitar. I gave him guitar. He's like, no, on drums, you know. I'm like, well, talk to Igor, you know. And Igor like gave him the sticks, and we did. You know, he played the whole song. It was great. So shit like that, man. You know, you cannot. You don't know that's gonna happen. That just happened because it was meant to happen, you know. And I love shit like that. I love crazy, unscripted moments like that, you know. So I think the hologram is missing that. It will miss that. It's not gonna have stuff like that. But at the same time, in a nostalgic way, I think it kind of would do what the Roots tour does for us, what the Nailbomb tour would do for the fans in America. People that wanted to see Nailbomb, or people that wanted to experience Roots with Max and Igor. Here in Australia, I can sense it's really big from the shows that we already did. It's pretty massive, you know. Places were packed and a lot of people, and it was exciting, man. You know, they know every song. It's great, you know. It's like an energy. And I was talking to Benji about that, and he was really excited because he was like, man, this is why I love music. It's like watching you guys show. It's so cool, and like none of those songs are like on you know, on FM radio, but or nothing like that. But everybody knows them and everybody sings them. It's just a underground phenomenon type shit, you know. So yeah, I'm cool. After I die, they can do my hologram. It'll be cool. Get the camouflage pants right.
Now, when they talk about the hologram, which era? Because again, the Ronnie James Dio one, I think is sort of set in like '83 or something like that. So, again, it's a choice of what sort of era of Max Cavalera would the hologram be?
I'm gonna go with the white Warlock BC Rich with a discharge sticker because a lot of people like that era.
91.
Yeah, pretty much. With the napalm shirt.
Before we go, any update on Kill or Be Killed? I know the members and everyone else is busy as hell, and you've got about 80 projects on the go. But will there be some new music?
You tell me.
I'm just asking you.
I know as much as you. Those fuckers, they're Mastodon is releasing album after album. It's like the guy don't stop. Troy.
They probably say the same about you.
Troy is a maniac, man. I just heard they got a new EP. After they just released a new record, I was like, what the fuck, man? And I talked to Greg. We're gonna do it at some point. I'm excited to work on a new Soulfly because we actually got Zion, practicing with me right now, so I get to write the songs with him, which I think is really cool, like a 2-piece. So I think that gives them more dynamics, and you can really work on the songs. We did a bit of that on Archangel, but I want to go deeper for the new album. And the new album has, I'm not going to say what it is because it's going to surprise, but has a theme already, so it's kind of like Roots. So it's going to be maybe Soulfly's Roots record, in terms of theme, not sonic talking, but I'm excited. I think we're hitting the studio in January. I'm gonna write like a maniac on the next couple months, just shitting riffs. So shit a lot of riffs, get the best riffs that I shat, and it's cool. I mean, this is all we know how to do, and I always get excited for a record because I think in my mind, even though with all these classic albums I released, I still think that I haven't now done the one that I would consider the masterpiece. And I think that's cool that you have that kind of chase mentality, that you still
keeps you on your toes, and
right, like you still don't have the one that you say that one,
you have the hunger.
It's great, this one is fun. There's been a couple close ones, like for me, like Chaos and Point Blank, and Soulfly 1, they were really close, like to being like amazing, perfect, but not quite yet. So there's the chase, so and the chase is what counts, I think.
What's a Motorhead song? The chase is better than the catch.
There you go, man. That's what it counts. So I think that the whole thing about the hunger, be hungry to make this great record. It's what drives you and what keeps you wanting to keep doing those things, man, which is great,
Well, we can get you to choose. Might be a little bit of a difficult one, but we'll give it a crack. Choose your favourite Soulfly track, favourite Sepultura track, favourite Cavalera Conspiracy track, and I guess Kill or Be Killed, even though one record, we don't know when the next one will be, so I'll throw this one over to you.
I'm going to pick Nail Bomb too. You forgot Nail Bomb.
I was about to add that in there.
But my favorite Soulfly song is Eye for an Eye. It's the first one. I think it was probably the first song I wrote for Soulfly, and still has the killer chorus. And it's real simple, very basic, very primal, but very powerful, And I love the drum beat. It's cool. It's like it was based on a Prodigy drum beat, so we metallized the Prodigy and made it into a metal thing, which was cool. So yeah, Eye for an Eye.
We'll go with a Sepultura one.
That's gonna be real hard. Yeah. But I have to go with Refuse Resist. Probably because it's probably my favorite Sep riff. It's real close with Arise, but I still think Refuse Resist is like Riot music. It's cool. It's like his own category. I always picture a Riot when I'm playing that song. Again, has the killer chorus, has the hardcore beat in the middle, circle pit, and it's always fun to play live. It never gets old to play live.
And then let's go with Cavalera Conspiracy.
Cavalera, I'm gonna pick probably Sanctuary, man. Sanctuary. I think when we did that, it was the moment. I still remember we recorded and then we get out of the. I was so happy. I just got done singing. Everybody die tonight. Everybody die tonight. Sanctuary. You know, and it was like I was just real happy just singing those lines. You know, it was like liberating. And I remember going, getting out of the vocal booth, and everybody was like goosebumps. You know, fucking trash. You know, it was a killer trash. It is a killer trash song, and I think we captured the power. I think of the brothers playing together on that one. So that's why I think Inflicted is a really good record.
And Killer Be Killed.
Killer Be Killed, I have to go with. There's a lot of cool songs on the record, but Face Down for me is the one it's really powerful, kind of punky, has a punk edge to it. It's really kind of punk metal kind of feeling to it. I love the chorus. It's got that kind of almost like old Metallica SOD kind of chorus. And Greg's vocals are great on it, and Troy's vocals are great on it too, and just really powerful. I remember playing live here when we played the only shows ever, and that song was always so kick-ass live. Melbourne, it'll be World of Shit. It's perfect. It was like Ministry, Godflesh meets Sepultura, you know, in that wild way, with electronics and samplers, you know. And we found this sampler from the TV. It was from Jerry Springer, I think, one of those American TV shows. And it starts the song say, "Hate is reality, you know. Don't you know God hates?" And it was like so good. I can't believe we found Alex. That was live TV. We got that out of live TV. That's just amazing. That, you know, a sampler, sometimes you can take it from a movie, but you've seen the movie a bunch of times, and you know, but get it from live TV, it was unheard of, man. That's how crazy me and Alex was when we did that record. But it's got the cool, the guitar going through the electronics, you know, down pitched, you know, very heavy electronic drums, real pissed off lyrics, you know. So yeah, Word of Shit. It's definitely my favorite song. I can't wait to play that one live.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time, buddy. It's always a pleasure.
Right on. Stay metal forever. See you, man.